without sleep. One of them must stay awake every second for 60 hours, monitored 24/7 so there's no cheating. The experiments will show how lack of sleep affects driving ability, mental ability,
what colour? Green.
and sex ability. Will they be able to get it up as the ladies get it on? An electronic test of their tackle reveals who finds it harder, the one who's been sleeping or the one who hasn't.
Get this right, the deal is one of us has to stay awake for 60 hours. What do you reckon?
There's a fair chance of you doing it, isn't there? Let's be honest.
I ain't even going to attempt it, no? And that is why I have volunteered you to do it. Now, I don't want you to complain and start trying to get out of it now, because the doctor is actually downstairs waiting for us to go down and do some blood tests.
I'm going to take care of all the medical side of things. We've got a few tests here. We're going to start with a rectal temperature probe. Basically, the probe is going to be recording your temperature continuously, day and night. We have got some KY jelly for you. That will make insertion easy and smooth.
I don't believe I'm doing this.
So most of the time it's staying up there. I'm actually going to be taking blood of both of you 3 times a day for 3 days to check for testosterone level, to look at your sex ability and how that varies with lack of sleep. And then we're checking yours, of course, as well, as a control.
My what? My sex ability or my blood?
Your testosterone level. There is evidence that sleep deprivation may reduce your sex hormone.
I hate that.
So the results of all the blood tests and the rectal temperature probe, I will present to you both at the end of the experiment on Friday, so you can see what that shows.
Okay, cool. Come on.
I think Mike's going to find the constant surveillance very difficult. We're going to be watching him every second of the 60 hours that I've set for him to stay awake safely. In addition to that, he's going to have regular blood tests 3 times a day for 3 days to look for his sex hormone, testosterone levels. I think he's going to find it quite draining.
The next stage is to insert this thing up my arse. It's going to sense my core body temperature, and it's going to be recorded in this little box. And I have to say, I'm not particularly looking forward to this bit. And I'm not sure whether it's going to stay in all 60 hours, to be honest. Oh, man. This is horrible. Right, I hope that's far enough up, because that's as far as it's bloody going. Right, well, you can see my little tail. It's really tickly, coming out the back of my trousers, so that's going to be connected to this box. It's really very, very, very unusual. Right. Oh, man. Hey. God. Right. Time to go driving, I guess.
We're going to go into the Millennium Dome, where there's a group called Drive and Survive, and they're going to put you through some driving tests. Like
So what sort of tests then, Eric?
You know, road control, you know, basically just testing your reactions on everyday driving. See how you fare today, and then later we're going to take you again to the Millennium Dome, same group, going to put you through the same test and see how you do when you're tired.
Yeah, I know when I'm tired, I don't drive so well.
I'm just about to take Mike's second sample of blood today. Again, testing for testosterone.
How sore will my arm be after all this? You're good at hitting these veins in one, aren't you?
It's intuition, I'm telling you.
I've never had my blood taken in the back of a car before.
I've never taken blood in the back of the car before.
OK, Mike, what we got here is called the ELK test. We're imagining we're driving along the road and braking, because it happens all too suddenly, and then correct up again.
Right.
Simple as that.
cool.
That was easy.
We're going to try it this time a little bit quicker. We're looking at just under 40 miles an hour, and Mike's
Right,
reached...
you keep an eye on the speedo.
Oh my God, under 40.
Mike was doing really well there to correct the steering and correct the skid. But he seems to be enjoying it as well.
Yeah, enjoying it. I'm not. Damn seatbelt. I'm gonna.
Have you got your seatbelt on?
No, I got the wrong damn seatbelt on.
And I think we're looking at probably getting up a little bit more speed next time. Get near your natural best. So you want to keep it dead straight. That's it. More speed, more speed, more speed. Wait for it. Okay, Mike, that was pretty good, actually. Let's see how you are with another 24 hours less sleep.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, I tell you.
So am I.
Driving without sleep will be bad enough. But what really bothers me is Zaren's idea of putting me up against some boy genius maths whiz kid to test my mental ability.
Hello and welcome to today's brain challenge. On my right here is Mike, a 37-year-old Oxford PhD. On my left here is Andrew, an 11-year-old student. The challenge today is called the Stroop test. I'm going to show you a card here which has words and colours on. I will ask you in quick succession to give me the name or tell me the colour you are seeing.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one, what colour?
Red.
What colour?
Green.
What word?
Orange.
What word?
Red.
What colour?
Yellow.
What colour?
Red.
What colour?
Blue.
What word?
Orange.
What word?
Purple.
What word?
Yellow.
Well done, Mike. I call that a draw.
I think it's going to be bloody hard to stay awake every second for 60 hours. With my brain and my driving and my dick being tested, I'm not even sure if I can cope. But after this meal, it's down to me. Shall I grab the next one?
Yeah, I can do that.
So what is it? Fish?
Fish, yeah. What you were doing today, right, was pretty impressive, and I would have taken a longer time.
If I had lots of space, didn't I? A whole car park.
Yeah, but I would
What's
have...
the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to run into a cone.
Yeah, but I would have taken more practice to do that. So while you're awake and you're pretty alert right now, I reckon that you'd do it. But come tomorrow, that's when you're going to be struggling.
I'm more worried about Andrew.
But the kid?
Yeah.
For real?
He is seriously bright, isn't he?
I know he's bright. You're really worried about him.
And that, what's it called, a Stroop test or whatever?
He was sharp on that, wasn't he? But how do you reckon you're going to do against him then?
He's going to slaughter me tomorrow.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because your brain is going to
No,
slow
it isn't
down.
even tomorrow, is it? It's 2 days' time.
2 days' time. So you're going to be... Forget it. Your history. I'll be going home to get some sleep, where you're going to be walking the city streets, doing whatever.
Trying to find other places where people are awake, I guess. I don't know, some late-night drinking holes. Not that I can drink, so that'll send me straight to sleep.
Yeah. I've left Mike at the West End of London, and there is a test that they've been doing, or supposed to have been doing on Mike, which was the body core temperature, and that involved wearing a length of wire, a thermometer, electronic thermometer, inserting it into his arse. Mike did this at first, then it came out, and Mike confided in me that he'd actually taken it out and not replaced it because it was so uncomfortable. The weather outside was just abysmal. It's just like slow, drizzly rain that makes everything you do really feel like a task.
As soon as you're prevented from sleeping, everything seems to be a little bit harder. But so far, I'm doing all right. I was looking at some of the homeless people, and, you know, they got like one scruffy blanket or maybe nothing at all, curled up in doorways. I know theirs wasn't much of a life, but at least they can sleep, which is one of the most basic things. Right, we're at Smithfield Market. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're here for two reasons, really. The first is the Old Cock Tavern's open, which means I can get a pint, or maybe something to eat. The second is that we're hoping to meet some junior doctors there, who are notorious for the ridiculous shifts they work. And I might be able to get some tips off them.
But whilst you've got something to actually focus your attention on and you've got goals and a series of tasks, it's actually a lot easier to stay alert and orientated. Whereas the worst thing is when you're at work and you're not busy, but you've got to be in hospital and stay awake. And you sit there, you're in the mess, a cup of coffee or something, and then you start to get dozy. You've got some hormones produced by the body, and one of them peaks in the morning about half an hour before you wake up normally anyways. And that's the thing that wakes you up. So, if you start a new job and you've got to get up an hour early, for the first few months it's a shocker, and then as you settle into that routine, it's you getting used to it. It's your body actually adjusting its endogenous hormone levels and those cycles within the body to make you kind of wake up at the right kind of time. And that's where we get kind of messed up, because we never get that kind of pattern and that kind of length of action.
That's not work as well, because when it dips in the sort of twilight hours is when people often have most problems.
Your sex hormones, just like all the other hormones, like cortisol we were talking about before, they go through the normal variations in a normal day, just like all the others, which is why you classically get your morning glories as well, which kind of shows that you've got your normal sex hormone ratios.
Ordinarily, we may expect an increase in the testosterone level in the morning, and it'll vary during the day. There is some evidence that testosterone level can drop with sleep deprivation. People who work shifts often complain of a diminished sex drive. The regular blood test will reveal exactly what's happened to Mike's testosterone during his 60 hours without sleep.
Like most blokes, when I wake up first thing in the morning, I usually feel quite randy. But certainly nothing has caused even a twinge in my boxer shorts. Hey, lazy ass. Oh, man. What I would have given for this. Hey, I can lay down, can't I? Just because I'm not going to sleep. Wake up, you dozy bastard!
How come you're so bright?
So we're going to do more driving today. I reckon you might be a bit more scared in the back, because I think I might be just a touch more ragged, I don't feel tired, but I'm just a little bit shaky, and a little bit dizzy, and a little bit nauseous. Yeah, one thing with lack of sleep is you're tired. Lack of sleep on a shoot's a pain, isn't it, with these cameras in your face all the time? I'm 26 hours into the experiment. It's not even halfway, but I feel like I've broken the back of it. I've got through one complete night. I don't feel that tired.
The thing about Mike, he's got intense focus, and he'll focus on something, and he won't let go until he dies. He must have been in a former life, he must have been a bulldog, because when he clamps on, he just does not let go. His jaws lock, and that is it.
Oh, Jesus. It's getting really sore now, both arms. Okay. That was sore. It'll be fascinating tomorrow to see what the blood analysis says about my testosterone. Will it show that I'm less randy? I don't know, but at the moment I'm more worried about the final driving test at the Dome. I've driven through the night a couple of times before, so even after 30-odd hours without sleep, I reckon I should still be able to drive okay. So let's see if I can recognise these codes.
Come on, up to 35 like we had it yesterday.
It is harder.
Well, we knocked him a fair way. I think that's more like 6 out of 10, that one. Flexibility from the arms and wrists completely gone. It's all stiff arm steering. I will get through this. I will survive.
Right, let's do some flexi arm steering.
And we've got to imagine the child's just run out in front of you here.
Yeah?
There's the child.
Killed everybody on the bus stop, but the child continues on its way.
You've got to do one at the speed we did it yesterday, which we haven't quite reached yet.
Okay,
so we get the
right.
speed up on this loop
This
here.
could be a complete demolition derby, you know that.
Get nice and straight. Keep accelerating. Keep on accelerating. The child runs out.
I'm certain that was faster than yesterday.
You've killed everybody on the left side and on the right side of the road.
I think Mike was very disappointed with the way he performed with his driving. Yet, it only takes 20 hours of being deprived of sleep for it to affect your driving, more than being over the drink driving limit. In fact, 1 in 5 accidents on roads, like motorways, are caused by lack of sleep.
Yesterday, 10 out of 10 for all of them. I mean, obviously, you're in the top 10% for psychomotor skills for drivers. But today, what we're seeing is that typical thing we'd expect, a delayed reaction. But we're also seeing that denial on your part.
I didn't think I was going to learn much about my driving. I just thought it would tell me a bit about being tired. But it certainly told me one thing.
Yeah.
God almighty, it makes a difference to the driving, whether you think it, whether you realise it or not. I'm beginning to realise just how much my lack of sleep is affecting me. After 36 hours awake, I'm dreading my second night in the town without sleep.
Well, I'm on my own now, and I've got to say I'm pretty tired, so I've got to keep myself occupied to stay awake. And I'm hoping the pulse of the 24-hour city is going to help.
I feel absolutely shite. Most of the day, I've been encountering waves of nausea. My thermoregulation has definitely gone to pot. I feel cold very quickly, I feel hot very quickly. Cup of tea, please. Thanks. My heart has been hammering and quite fast, and there's nothing I've been able to do to slow it down. You can relax as totally as you could ever imagine relaxing, and it's no good at all. You know, there's nothing that's going to replace sleep.
If Mike had done what he was told and kept the rectal probe in, which was looking at his core body temperature, we would have probably expected a temperature drop by about 0.5 degree, which doesn't sound like a lot, but would have given Mike the perception of feeling cold and hence causing him to feel shivery. Your core temperature naturally goes down at night, so it's important that you're tucked up warm.
I've been awake now 50 hours, just over. And, yeah, scale of 1 to 10, tiredness. I can't be far off 10, to be honest. I haven't felt this tired and ill, ever, I don't think.
Wake up, it has to go.
I'm absolutely exhausted. My sex drive's shriveled, and all I can think about is that in a few hours' time I've got to sit down with Boy Genius and do another bunch of puerile tests.
Mike's been awake 2 days now, but he can still do well in this cognitive skills test. Motivation is the key here. Strong motivation to succeed can actually overcome the effects of sleep deprivation on cognitive performance.
Let's start the test. What colour?
Purple.
What word?
Purple,
What word?
Orange.
What word?
orange,
What word?
Yellow.
What colour?
yellow,
What colour?
Blue.
What colour?
blue,
What word?
Yellow.
What word?
yellow.
Well done, Andrew. I'm going to give you a tongue twister. This is an easy one. Betty Baxter bought a bit of butter, but her bit of butter was bitter. So she bought a bit of better butter to make her bit of bitter butter better. Andrew, let's see how far you get.
Betty Baxter bought a bit of butter, but her bit of butter was bitter, So she bought a better bit of butter to make her bitter bit of butter better.
Well done! Amazing! Mike.
Betty Baxter bought a bit of butter, but it was bitter, so she bought a better bit of butter to put with her bit of butter to make it better.
But she said butter.
Yeah, he added a few words in there.
No, he said Betty Baxter bought a bit of butter, but
Andrew, please. Leave it to the
I think we get the message. You won that one as well.
Please leave it to the quizmaster to humiliate him. Well done. Well, a few words added in there. I'd like to say that Mike did extremely well, a lot better than I actually thought he would do. Okay, the first challenge, the first time you two met, you came head to head, it was a draw. And this time I'm going to award it to Andrew. Well done, Andrew. But Mike,
congratulations.
Not that far behind.
I think Mike was threatened by Andrew, and he really hated the tests. So I think he was quite determined to do well. Your mood is actually more affected by lack of sleep than your ability to do challenging tasks. REM sleep is a deep sleep where you dream. People who go without it report hallucinations, paranoia, and personality changes. So we're near the end of the test, of the 60 hours without sleep for you, Mike. And you've had all the blood tests, both of you. Now I have here the testosterone results. Now we're going to start with Mike.
God.
You started off with a level of 10.4 here before your sleep deprivation. It went down, and it's not so much the dips and the peaks, but the trend. It slowly tailed off. What was interesting was the last two readings went right off the scale down to 5.5. I would say that your testosterone levels reflect the possibility of your sleep deprivation causing it.
So at the start of this, he was quite macho man.
He was actually within a normal range of
Normal range,
testosterone.
And then by here, he was a girl pants.
So what about Mr. Gland here? Come on, let's go on to him.
Mr. Glenn, why do you want to rush onto me for?
Because I'm interested why that scale's so big at the top.
Does a higher testosterone mean the person has a bigger sex drive?
It does influence your libido, yes, your testosterone level. And in fact, if somebody has loss of libido, we would check their testosterone, see if it was low. Now, what was interesting about Zeren's result is that you're not going in a downward direction. You've got your natural rhythms, but unlike the sleep deprivation with Mike and the tailing off, yours are generally following
A regular pattern.
Yeah. This is one test looking at your libido. All right. I'm now going to hand you over to Dr. Peter Byrne, who's going to use his equipment to assess your libido in another way.
I've been up almost 63 hours. All I want is my bed. And I'm now faced with the ultimate test of my manhood.
Hi, I'm Dr. Byrne, and we're here today to show you this apparatus that we're going to use to measure sexual arousal. And in particular, I wanted to show you one of the gauges. This will be the gauge that's connected to your penis. And if you look here on the screen, you can see that as this gauge flexes and increases in circumference, the blue trace on the screen goes up. And then as it gets smaller, the trace goes down.
So then, because he's not had sleep for 63 hours, then this will be a good measure to see just how aroused he can be or can't be through lack of sleep. Right?
So what are you going to use to encourage us to increase our penile circumference?
Well, given that we're dealing with two healthy heterosexual males, the staff has arranged for some exotic dancers to act as your stimulus material. We will also assist you in placing a respiration belt, which is the black belt there, and then the galvanic skin response, which is kind of the sweat response.
So if you breathe, sweat will get hard on. We're going to know about
They're going to know that.
Who goes first?
You.
Let me hear you say. Let me hear you say.
Good evening.
Very nice to meet you.
And you.
Let me hear you say. Let me hear you say. Let me hear you say.
So this is Mike's data. The first thing to notice over here is this 1.0. The penile trace increased 1 centimeter in circumference. That we can say, and that actually is clinically significant. This is the level of response most men would not even be aware of. We have some interesting things here in Zaren's data. Zaren responds 3.0 centimeters above baseline. Okay, that's 3 times as much. Now what's really good, you want to see something really good? Yeah. She got really suggestive. Look what he did.
He stops breathing.
He stopped breathing to try to stop this responsiveness.
You can't stay through this, man.
But he didn't want to get any more responsiveness. He held his breath for almost 10 seconds. To stop his arousal. So you can see this is what the measure was. So this would be a higher level response. Zaren was much more aroused than Mike was. That's what the data show.
Cool.
Right. Thank you.
Which would probably support the fact that I've been awake for 62, 63 hours.
And I've got a higher testosterone level.
I am truly knackered. My coordination's all over the place. I'm starting to slur my words and my dick's limp. Even the gyrating female form can't raise a smile. No wonder shift workers can have problems getting it up. What with that and an increased risk of heart disease, cancer and depression, lack of sleep can be a real killer. I'm finally going to bed, hopefully for the sleep of my life. Log on to the Open University website www.open2.net to discover more about sleep and what staying awake really does to you.